Everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm recording now. Happy Monday. Happy new week. It is March 8th today, I believe. Yes, it's March 8th. And we did Neville all last week, which I will continue next week. I'm going to have to break it up because, as you saw, it was so rich and dense. I don't want to get too overloaded with it. So this week, if you all have never read this wonderful gem, I won't hide my beautiful, I love that. We have this, The Citadel, Know Thyself, and this book right here, As a Man Thinketh, is one of the cruxes to the Citadel. Made this girl who she is, As a Girl Thinketh. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. I'm going to read this word for word, it's only 26 pages, throughout this week. So spread out through this week. So if you've never read it or if you have no intention, you're welcome in advance because I'm going to read it for you and add commentary in only the way that I can. So it's going to be fun and very Carla-like. So you're welcome in advance again. Let's dive right in. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes, the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. That is so good. If books were a dessert, this would be a hot fudge sundae. I'm a big nerd. Okay. So the foreword says, this little volume, the result of meditation and experience, is not intended as an exhaustive treatise on the much written upon subject of the power of thought. It is suggestive rather than explanatory, its objective being to stimulate men and women to the discovery and perception of the truth that they themselves are makers of themselves. By virtue of the thoughts which they choose and encourage, that mind is the master weaver, both of the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance, and that, as they may have hitherto woven in ignorance and pain, they may now weave in enlightenment and happiness. James Allen, Broad Park Avenue, Ilfracombe, England. This book was written, it doesn't say, early 1900s. So the first chapter is called Thought and Character. The aphorism, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to even condition and circumstance of his life, of every condition. So the aphorism, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all of his thoughts. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated, as to those which are deliberately executed. Act is the blossom of thought. Acting is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry. Thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him, as comes the wheel, the ox behind. If one endure in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow sure. That was a little poem. He continues to say, man is a growth by law, and not a creation by artifice? Artifice? Man is a growth by law and not a creation of artifice. And cause and effect is an absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. An ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. So I'm going to look this up on dictionary.com. This is what I do when I'm all alone and I see a word that I haven't seen. I know this word, but it's not familiar. Artifice. A clever trick or strategy, a cunning, crafty device, or it's wily. Trickery, craftiness.
Artifice.
Oh, artifice. I was saying it wrong. Artifice. So man is a growth by law and not a creation by artifice. And cause and effect is an absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought, as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. An ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes, all are the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. So we are all made and unmade by ourselves. In the armory of thought, we forge the weapons by which we destroy ourselves. We also fashion the tools with which we build for ourselves heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, we ascend to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, we descend below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and we are the maker and the master. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul which have been restored and brought to light in this age, none is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that we are the master of thought, the molder of our character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself the transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. Man is always the master, even in his weaker and most abandoned state, but in his weakness and degradation, he is the foolish master who misgoverns his household. When he begins to reflect upon his conditions and to search diligently for the law upon which his being is established, he then becomes the wise master, directing his energies with intelligence and fashioning his thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master, and man can only thus become by discovering within himself, know thyself, within himself, the laws of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. Know thyself. and you shall know the universe. So it says, we are always the master, even in our weaker and most abandoned state. But in our weakness and degradation, we are the foolish master who misgoverns our household. When we begin to reflect upon our condition and to search diligently for the law upon which we begin, which we are establishing, we become the wise master, directing our energies with intelligence and fashioning our thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master, and we can only thus become by discovering within ourselves the law of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and we find every truth connected with our being. If we will dig deep into the mine of our soul, and that we are the maker of our character, the molder of our life, and the builder of our destiny, we may unerringly prove, if we will watch, control, and alter our thoughts, tracing their effects upon ourselves, upon others, and upon our life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing our every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of ourselves, which is understanding, wisdom, and power. In this direction, as in no other, is the law absolute, that we that seeketh findeth, and to us that knocketh it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless opportunity can we enter the door of the temple of knowledge. That's good. So that'll be the reading for today. That was the foreword and then the first chapter, thought and character. This goes very well with our last week of Neville Goddard about consciousness. It mentions the kingdom is within us. We are the Lord. We are the master of our thoughts. Watch this again if you didn't listen. I'm going to read this whole book this week. So you will have down a classic book to add to your shelf help aisle up here. I hope you enjoyed that. This is one of my favorite books. It brings me so much excitement. As always, we are having our Thursday mindfulness and mindset this Thursday on Zoom. The link, I'll post the link just before again. And yeah, so Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, live, me, you, Zoom. Don't be scared. Hop on the call. I'm going to teach this week. I'm going to get a theme. So this theme for this week is living from the inside out rather than the outside in. Living from the inside out rather than the outside in. Tips and tricks, tools, having a discussion of how we can dictate and stay calm no matter what's going on outside of us. And we'll do a guided meditation too. It'll be nice. I'm excited. I hope you all enjoyed that. I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday, live and in person. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of As a Man Thinketh, James Allen.